My name is Solape Azazi. Thank you so much for the audience. I'm going to roll straight into my presentation. It looks like I'm talking to adults, so I planned it in my head to talk to children, but we're going to talk to adults. So,
well, we're still people's children.
So, you already have a basic understanding of what I'm talking about. So, anybody else that is fairly new to the autism world? Anybody? Do you know anything about autism? Oh, no, it's fine. It's good. No, that's fine. That's okay. I could just continue. I mostly talk to adults and then children. So I don't do a combination of both. So this is good for me. It's good. So anybody new to the autism world? Anybody? She's not new. Have you dabbled in the world? Do you know anybody with autism or special needs or additional needs? You do. You do. Yes. And how was your relationship? How was your interaction with the person?
The first time I noticed it was a very long time ago, before I wanted to know what autism was about. I think I started knowing about autism when I saw this Indian movie, Stars on something like that. So knowing that, and then I think it was during NYSC, I noticed those traits in a particular child that teachers often punish the child all the time, and then he says things like, you can't see the alphabet, it's right on the page, so he writes it upside down, so I identified it and I was able to start day by day with him. I spent just a few moments, and that was my introduction.
Yeah, so what I realize is that we fear what we don't know. And it's not just, it's human nature. When you see something that you are not used to, your first response is attack, put it down, because it also it activates that flight or fight mode in you. So you see someone that is just odd, the first thing you say is not enough, not up to, not. But sometimes it takes you just finding out why that person is that way. And when you think about it, just tell yourself, I beg, that's extra stress. I don't want to. But if you don't put the extra, how then do you make a difference? What makes the difference is the extra that we put in. Anybody can be a friend. What makes a good friend is when you're caring, when you genuinely care for the other person's wants, needs, the emotional well-being of that person. That's what makes you a good friend. And that's what makes that friend remember you, have a lasting relationship with you. Because I wrote a book, like I was saying, it's about having a friend with autism. And it's titled My Friend Has Autism. But it's not from the angle of an autistic child. It's from the angle of a new child that came to school. He's not heard about it before. But then he comes to a school that has been trained. So we're assuming the school is already trained with all of this. The school is aware of what it is to be autistic and be inclusive. And then he comes to school and he realizes that there's this one boy, if you are changing school mid-session, for example, your goal will be, I need to meet the person that is most famous in that school and make the person my best friend, because when I do that, then that means that my ride in the school is good. And so it comes to the class that he signed him in, and he realized that there was this particular child that everybody sort of warms up around, and when it's time to ask a question and he gets it, everybody hails him, and then it was like, this must be the chairman of this class. I need to be his friend, and then he goes to the playground thinking, oh yeah, that's where I'm going to solidify my friendship, and kicks the ball to the person because he loves soccer. He kicks the ball, and then the guy just looked at the ball and walked away. And so it's like, this school is supposed to be famous for their sporting activity, but I just kicked the ball thinking that this, as a superstar of the school now, it should also be a good athletic person. So you see how you're superimposing your own idea into, you have not taken time to find out what the other person is about. And so kicks the ball, and then the guy just walked away. And we say, oh, okay, maybe when we get back into class. Gets back into class, sees the boy still sitting on his seat and goes, hello, and then the boy replies, hello, and he goes, my name is so, and then the boy says, and he goes, what's your name? The boy replies, and then the next thing he goes, so you see, and then he rattles on, and then the boy, he lost the boy, because the boy just went back to what he was doing. At that point, it was just sad. But in my head, if it were you, realistically, forget autism and all of that, wouldn't you think the boy is bothering you? Like, I don't know you. What's your problem? But then again, because he doesn't have the words to communicate, I don't know you, what's your problem? He's just like, this, space. And so it took another child in that classroom to break it down. Look, this guy has autism. You don't know him. You've not tried to find out whether he likes what he likes, but you've come with your own idea of, this is what I like, so he must like it. Right? And so there's a disconnect. Because when we say communication, effective communication is speaker and receiver, right? So if you are here now and I decide to say to you, Shogologo Bangoshe, for example, you don't know what it means. So the receiver hasn't received the information. But there was information, right? And there was information, there was the person passing it, and there was the person receiving it. But there's a break in the communication gap. Why? Because the person receiving it does not know what you're saying. So for you to have an effective relationship, what I'm sending out should be receptive to who I'm sending it to. So that's the first thing about when you're dealing with children with autism. You need to first find out who they are. Who are you? What makes you tick? What's your strength? How do you communicate? It's when you know all of these things that can help you now design how to interact, what to build upon, how to become a good friend. But then, like I said, not all of us are patient to discover all of this because it feels like it's a lot of work. But when you need to become a friend to someone with special needs, you need to first start from understanding what their idea of the world is. Autism is not a disease, it's not a sickness, it's just a different way of life, a different way I see and interact with the world. So that means you have to understand the difference before we can then now meet. You have to join me in my world before I can join you in your world. Make sense? It looks like I talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Any questions? Okay. All right. So pretty much that sums up my adult conversation about autism and how to understanding autism and being a supportive person to an autistic person. Thank you very much.
Solape Azazi is the author of the children's book titled My Friend Has Autism, a book about understanding and acceptance from a child's perspective of what autism is. She is an IBCCES certified autism specialist and an active member of the Global Autism Project team focused on providing resources, culturally relevant training, and collaborative community need to support, empower, and champion autistic individuals locally.